Hello and welcome to this Women's Day special edition of The Big Picture on Sansad TV. I am Tina Jha. A very happy Women's Day to all our viewers. May we soon become a gender equal, gender neutral society. And as we strive towards achieving this, it's important to acknowledge the multiple roles that women play, the struggles that they take on every day and yet excel in everything that they do. For the multifaceted women, of course, every day is Women's Day. But this one day of the year, that's the 8th of March, gives us the right opportunity to celebrate the versatility of women, their important role in shaping families, societies, and the nation. On this edition of The Big Picture, we will talk about the role of women in one vital aspect of nation building, and that is politics. We will analyze the journey that women in India have traversed through in politics, their position in legislatures today, and what more needs to be done to widen their participation. Joining me on the program are two very special guests. Let me introduce them to you. I'm pleased to welcome on this edition of The Big Picture, Aparajita Sarangi, Member of Parliament, Lok Sabha. She represents the BJP. Welcome, ma'am, on this edition of The Big Picture. And we also have with us Ms. Vandana Chavan. She's Member of Parliament, Rajya Sabha. She represents the NCP. Welcome to Sansad TV, Vandana Chavan, ma'am. So to begin with, let me wish both my guests a very happy Women's Day. And as I said in my introduction, maybe soon become a gender equal, gender neutral society. So Aparajita ji, let me begin the program today with you. What we have seen in India year on year, whenever the elections are taking place, be it in for the parliament or for the state legislatures, the representation of women pleasingly is increasing, but of course, it's not enough. If we talk about the 17th Lok Sabha, it's a record number this time, 78 women representing different parts of their country, their constituencies in the Lok Sabha in the 17th session that's on at the moment. But if we look back to 1952, there was just one woman who was representing about 8 million women in the country. So it's a long journey, a good one that we have traversed. But if we have to look back, how would you describe this journey of Indian women when it comes to one vital aspect, and that is politics?
At the outset, on the occasion of International Women's Day, I would like to congratulate every woman of the country. I would also like to congratulate you. We have come a long way, but I can say with all conviction at my command that we have a long way to go. We have achieved a lot in all these years, but I think lots need to be achieved in the days to come. As far as politics is concerned, yes, I entirely agree with you. The pace has been very slow, though there has definitely been movement ahead. But I think we need to increase this pace. A couple of years back, there were hardly women at the local level even. Forget about the parliament, forget about the state legislature. We had very few women at the local level. Then came the 73rd and the 74th Amendment. And that actually led to lots of changes on the ground. There was some kind of focus on women too. And thereafter, I think things are moving. I come from bureaucracy. I joined politics 2 years back. And I remember when I was serving in the districts or even at the state government level, there would be sarpanch patis who would be talking on behalf of the panchayats that the wives were representing as sarpanches. But I think things are improving. We are extremely proud that today there are 78 women in the Lok Sabha. And I can see the kind of participation that all the women do in the Lok Sabha. Of course, this was not the scenario in the 16th Lok Sabha. But let me tell you, as we have already discussed and you have also said, the pace of increase is very slow. In fact, this is just 11% to 14%. Whereas we are aware of the fact that 50% of India's population is women. So I think commensurate with that, the pace should have increased. More women should have been at the local level, at the state legislature level, and of course at the national level. So unless and until we have lots of women, rather a large number of women at the local level, in fact some of the states have gone for 33% reservation at the local level, which is definitely a welcome step. So I think we need to repose faith and confidence in the ability of the women to deliver. If all of us have that faith and confidence and all of us are able to create a facilitating environment, I think this number will increase and we must actually provide that supporting environment.
Absolutely. So you spoke about the trust in women. What exactly do you think is the reason? Why are political parties not, imposing so much trust, the faith in the women? Is it the winnability factor? And when it comes to electoral politics, we see that all parties are generally not, imposing that kind of trust in women as they do in the male candidates.
They obviously see. I think this is the general mindset. I can say with a lot of confidence that there is definitely a question mark on the ability of the women to deliver. It's a question of knowledge, it's a question of extrovert approach, it's a question of understanding. So I think over a period of time, there has been thrust on education. There has been thrust on sending our girls to schools much beyond middle English schools or the high schools. They have gone to colleges now. So I think things are changing, the approach is changing, and let's all be very positive. But at the same time, I would definitely say that this is our collective responsibility. Now here, when I say collective responsibility, I don't mean that it's the responsibility of only women folk. It's also the responsibility of men folk.
Yes.
We all need to come together. The society needs to come together and speak in one voice. We need to have this 50% population also moving ahead with the rest 50%.
So as someone who has contested elections, for women generally, what are the kind of challenges that they face when they go into electoral politics?
We have to work very hard. See, let me tell you, you have to have the strategy in place. Winning election is both science and an art. All of us know that. And it is, I would say, 25% strategy and 75% hard work. So the strategy has to be in place. And when a woman has to have that strategy, she also needs the support of her men folk. This is nothing, there's nothing wrong about it. The family has to come out in support of her, keeping in view the situation around. Unless and until the family, that means the children, the husband, the in-laws, all of them have to come together to support her, because it's a major decision that she's taking. She's getting into politics. So it's a very different kind of terrain that she wants to go to. So for that matter, in fact, she needs the support of the family. She needs everybody's ideas to put her strategy in place. She needs to lead from the front. There are situations when, the men folk try to lead her, and then thereafter there is the hard work. The candidate has to put in very hard work, and it means 15-16 hours of grueling hard work every day. So a woman should be mentally ready, physically ready. The family must support her.
Yes.
The entire society needs to support her when she actually takes a decision and wants to wade through these difficult waters.
Absolutely. Getting you into the discussion, Vandana ji, before you joined us, I was speaking to Aparajita ji, and we were talking about how women in India have, traveled a long journey when it comes to their representation in politics, the kind of challenges that they have faced through the years and still continue to do so. As a member of the upper house, if you are to analyze the trend of participation of women MPs and what needs to be done to enhance it further?
I think the 73rd and 74th Amendment to the Constitution, which was passed way back in 1992, was really a watershed moment for women's representation in the political arena. This brought in 33% reservation at all local self-governments. I mean, I'm one such product who had never ever dreamt that I would be in politics, and I was given an opportunity. I took up that opportunity, in fact, at the grassroots level, worked as a municipal corporator for 15 years, became the mayor of my city, and that was really a stepping stone to make representation at then the state legislature, and now, of course, the Rajya Sabha. I think it's been number of years now since that step was taken, and that was something from where we have graduated, so as to say, to make representation at a much higher level. Yes, as Aparajita, I just heard a little bit when she was saying that women have to struggle on all fronts, not only in politics, in every field that they are, because women are basically not only working at their workplace, but also have families to look after. So they are multitasking all the time, and
Yes.
it is a lot of a lot of fronts that you have to really be at it, kind of. But yes, bringing women in the political arena and decision-making process has made a world of difference to the way we think the policy making, and I think a lot needs to be done. On this Women's Day, I feel it's time now that we have graduated from the local self-governments and we need to see the 33% reservations at the state and central level, the parliament level.
Absolutely.
And
They
I
need to
hope
be
that
given
day
much more
comes soon.
opportunities.
Definitely, definitely.
So, Vandana ji, if we are to speak about the challenges that women still face, and one question that I posed to Aparajita ji as well, the kind of challenges that women legislators face even today, despite, the environment being so conducive now, from being a development for women to actually having an India today where it is development led by women in several arenas. Women are doing, exceptionally well in different fields. But of course, their share of challenges still exist. In fact, in modern day, they are facing contemporary challenges. So as a member of parliament, if you would like to share with us the kind of challenges that you had to face and how you overcame them.
Well, I think everybody, whether it's a man or a woman, faces challenges in whatever field that he or she works. And honestly, yes, initially I've been a lawyer. I've practiced for 8 years in the courts. So that's when I saw that there was a lot of gender disparity. But coming into politics, I feel that, well, it's challenging times for all of us. And sometimes looking back, I also feel that if we don't have those hurdles, if we didn't have the challenging times, women would not be able to prove themselves. And honestly, I love those challenges coming. So I don't run away from challenges, or I don't think. And I think the theme of this year's International Women's Day also is choose to challenge.
Yes.
So just be bold and start challenging. And I'm sure women are, made our chemistry is such that we are very sensitive towards issues. We are very dedicated to the work that we do. And any challenge that comes our way, just fight it. I think that's a wonderful hashtag that International Women's Day has given us this year. Just boosts our confidence and motivates us that whatever you think in your heart and mind, just do it. And I think that's the kind of confidence we need. So I love challenges, honestly. If they didn't come my way, I wouldn't have reached the Rajya Sabha.
Absolutely. But I think at large, what the biggest hurdle that women face even today is the wide gender disparity. And that's one pertinent problem that every year we discuss on our shows with a hope that something will be done in the near future and our future generations will have a gender equal society. Aparajita ji, so when it comes to empowering women in politics, what would you suggest? Is quota the answer to gender disparity that exists?
See, if you ask me, yes, quota helps to a certain extent, but I would not say that quota is the answer and quota is the remedy, the solution. I would never say that. We need to create a very favorable environment. You use the word conducive. I think that's the right word. We need to have a conducive environment for proper growth of women. Physical growth, mental growth. What are the things that we need to focus on when we talk of women? We need to focus on her education. We need to focus on her health. We need to ensure that her dignity is upheld. We need to ensure that she is safe and secure. And ultimately, it all boils down to whether she has money in her pocket or not, in her purse or not. So she should be economically self-dependent. So I think if these four things are focused on, put emphasis on, I think things would be much better for women. And I would not say that quota is the answer, going back to my earlier statement. I would say that the quota is thought to be the sole remedy by many people, but I don't think so. We have to create favorable environment, and here when we create that kind of environment, the women also have to play a major role. Women have to actually be bold, be brave, be confident, and have grip over the issues, be knowledgeable, study well, and then, whatever the favorable environment that has been created, she would be leveraging the benefits.
Okay, Vandana ji. So, what is your opinion, as has happened in the case of panchayats and the municipalities, and as you yourself pointed out, do you think only a legally mandated quota could perhaps ensure a large scale of large-scale entry, in fact, of women into the higher echelons of political power in our country?
I agree to what Aparajita said that yes, you need a conducive environment. That's absolutely right. But also, the fact remains that we need a quota system. Had we not had the reservation, probably we would not have seen millions of women in the local self-government systems. We would not have seen them leading cities as mayors or as presidents of the panchayats. So this is something which has given us an opportunity to be able to prove ourselves. And so quota, along with conducive environment, is absolutely required. And I'm sure that even if the reservation comes through for the state assemblies and in the parliament, I'm sure that we will see much more empowered women talking about women's issues and making sure that policies, legislations are driven in that direction. And I think we've there's been a sea change since independence. If we see our 5-year plans, we see that first the approach during the first few 5-year plans used to be a welfare approach towards women. Then we saw it changing to developmental approach. Then during the 1990s, we saw that change to women getting more and more empowered. Now, in the last 5-year plans, of course, now we have the Niti Aayog, but the last few 5-year plans, we saw that the government looked at women as agents of change. Well, we have to be agents of change, then we have to be empowered and we have to get those positions of decision making, which, yes, with conducive environment and with reservation in the political system.
Absolutely. And when you say agents of change, I would like to quote something that I came across during the course of my research. One of the studies conducted in 2018 said that women representatives bring economic growth to their constituencies. And this, of course, looking at the context of Indian societies is very important because constituencies need the focus of their elected representatives. So, Aparajita ji, taking on from what the research suggested, one of the research by United Nations University World Institute for Development Economics said in 2018 that there is evidence of significantly higher growth in economic activity in the constituencies that elect women. How true is that? Since you are also representing one of the constituencies, and going forth, how can this be taken forth? Because if this holds true, it is very significant for a country like ours.
It's music to my ears, and I'm sure Madam Chauhan also must be feeling the same. See, I represent Bhubaneswar parliamentary constituency in the Lok Sabha. And I tell you, I have been moving like mad from urban wards to urban wards, from village to village, and I can see the response of the women. When I move in the villages, I move in the urban wards, I can see all the doors getting opened and all the women coming out. You know, somebody to hug, somebody to offer me a glass of water, somebody to touch, somebody to talk. But I'm sure when the men folk move, the leaders, I'm sure they shut themselves behind doors. Odisha is a very conservative place, and I'm sure most parts of the country are like that. So I think women feel very much comfortable with a female representative, and I can see the change. Women are becoming agents of change in my constituency, and since I am a woman, I can say with all humility that I think being a woman, I am more sensitive to the cause of women. I would like them to come up. It's not that the men folk would not, but they would not have the heart. I have the heart and the mind both. So I would like the women to come forward, women to move ahead, women to get themselves educated, and I would be spending a lot of time on creating a conducive environment for the growth of women. So I think a female representative would definitely do a lot for the coming forward of women. This is but natural.
Vandana ji, so women legislators in India raised the economic performance in their constituencies by about 1.8 percentage points per year, more than the male legislators. That's what the study says. So if we are to increase the participation of women further, imagine this percentage going up by so many points. So what is the best way forward towards this development as well? Not just increasing participation of women, but because it is linked to the development of the constituencies.
Absolutely. I mean, it's wonderful the outcome of the research that has happened, and as said, it's really music to our ears because we, as elected representatives, do make a conscious effort to see that we bring in that change consciously. I mean, I still remember in 1992 when I became a corporator for the first time. Uh, we as women for the first time at the municipal corporation, the first batch, so as to say, after the reservation came in, we used to discuss things as what is it that we need to do. And it was always my case, always my stand that we need to do all that the men representatives do. And in addition, we have a responsibility to do something more because we understand the problems of the women better.
Yes.
And you would be surprised to know that all of us women corporators at that time got together. We made sure that women go out to work. So we must have creches starting at the municipal corporation to keep the children there and keep them safe so that the woman is safe and is able to pursue her career. Secondly, we started special reservation seats in the transport buses that we have, the local transport buses. We had a working women's hostel. We had a short stay home. So these are programs which probably male corporators would not have realized. It was only the females who came together and initiated these things. Secondly, it's 21 years today, I started an initiative in my city, Pune, where I believe that, if we talk about environment, it's firstly the economic empowerment of a woman. If she has her own money in her hand, then she can really stand up and give whatever challenge she faces in her lifetime. So basically, we started programs where these women could come together, whatever art and craft that they make. We provided a platform where they could sell that. We had formed groups where they can go and distribute electricity bills, start canteens, etc., etc. And today I see after 21 years, these women have absolutely been transformed. And we didn't have to do anything to go and teach them, especially. It was just that confidence which came to them because they were economically empowered. And I think once they are economically empowered, then it's the family which benefits. It's everybody who comes together. Her status in her own family changes. I mean, I have so many instances where some of these women would say we are just treated as chattel in the family. Anything, chalo, utho, go and get this, go and get that. But the moment she starts earning, she becomes a great resource in the family. And even the status in the family itself increases, where the mother-in-law herself would say, you sit, you do your work, I'll go and fend for myself. These are the kind of changes which bring in, and then the whole family, the financial condition improves. So I guess that study has come through these conscious efforts that some of the elected representatives have taken up and really tried to achieve.
Yes, and not just economic impact, Aprajita ji. More women in parliament, of course, also means better, stronger, and more representative democracies that work together for the betterment of the people. So towards achieving this at the policy level, at the societal level, what should be the best way forward?
So we all need to think collectively, and it's good that so many women are there in both Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha. But at the same time, I would say that it's very important to have women at all levels, the three tiers. In the state legislatures also, we need to have a lot many women. At the local level, it's very important to have sarpanches, panchayat samiti members, and Zilla Parishad members who are women. Actually, everything, the revolution takes place at home. If we talk of women empowerment, I think everything starts at home, in a household. That's the unit. So I think we need to have that kind of favorable, conducive environment created at that level in every village, in every urban ward. So for that matter, I think we need to focus on the smallest unit of governance, and that is the household.
Absolutely.
Yes. So this is my viewpoint, and all of us need to work collectively. See, I must mention the day when Triple Talaq Bill was discussed in the Lok Sabha. What a wonderful venture of the government. I mean, there are certain things which need not be politicized. But I must mention here that that was a day when women like us got the opportunity to speak in favor of the scrapping of the triple talaq system. And it was such a wonderful thing that happened for the country. So I think legislation for women also does great favor to the status of women, like abolishing sati. Imagine the kind of decisions that have been taken by the central government from time to time, whichever government over the years. I think the prohibition of Dowry Prohibition Act 1961, I think these are some path-breaking measures having been taken by the parliament over a period of time. So it should percolate down, it should be at the state legislature level also, at the local level also, and I think there has to be some kind of amendment created by all of us in favor of women. Men are equally important in the fight against this, the pathetic condition that many of the women are in. See, while we are going up, let us not close our eyes to the tough condition that many women are in even now. Extremely tough conditions, you know, it's a question of their dignity, their safety, their security, they don't have money in their hand. And what is empowerment? In fact, we must understand the meaning, the definition of empowerment should be known by all of all of us.
Vandana ji, one last comment from
Yes.
you. Aparajita ji has mentioned about the various path-breaking measures that have been undertaken over the course of years, and that perhaps explains the changing trends over the years when it comes to participation of women. But to take it further, so that in the years to come, we have a gender equal society, especially when we are talking about political discourse. And from your experience, what do you think is the best way forward?
So there are five, I think, things which we need to do. If we see the education of women, these would be challenges, I would call them. The education of women. I come again from the city of Pune, which is called the Oxford of the East, Vidyetsa Mahir Ghar, as they say. And municipal corporation schools or the government schools, the Prathamik, the primary section runs only up to 7th standard. I have myself seen that in our own city, and it's pan-India, these girls unfortunately get married. The parents want to marry them off. Getting married at the age of 13 or 14 years, not knowing contraception, getting early childbirth, obviously the child is malnutrition, she is anemic. So we need to change this entire system. We have to make sure that the girl child is given free education or right to education up to standard 12. Then she is at an age where she can really understand what kind of choice she needs to make. Health issues. I mean, health issues go hand in hand with the level of education.
Absolutely.
Safety is another major thing.
Awareness and
After
boosting
Nirbhaya,
confidence are the two very, very important suggestions that our panelists have made. And women in the country at large have to understand, first, of course, education is important. They have to take care of their health, and they need to be confident. It's their attitude that decides what lies ahead of them. So thank you to both my guests for joining me on this Women's Day special episode of The Big Picture. Once again, I extend my best wishes and thank you to both my guests on this Women's Day, and pleasure having you on the program. To our viewers, happy Women's Day once again. And just in case you missed the television broadcast of our program, you can watch it on Twitter and YouTube, and you can get back to us with your feedback and suggestions as well. Thank you once again for your time.